Nerviosa, neta.
Hello,
Angel Powers. Boom, boom, boom.
This is Angelica Empowers and
Rosenberg.
and we are here to do what, honey? I'm so nervous.
We're gonna be arguing about marriage. I mean, we're gonna be chatting about marriage.
Okay, so if you are alive right now, type 1 in the comments. What a blessing being alive today. And if you are on replay, you're gonna type I miss you, Angelica Empowers.
I miss you.
Because when you are alive right now with us, you can ask questions and you can get the answers. So we are in how many platforms?
So we're in 4 platforms. We're in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and is that it? Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
So feel free to share this video so people can learn about marriage. We've been married for 21 years. We got married when we were really too young. So you're going to learn things. So feel free to ask questions. And if we can answer them, like, we go.
Yeah, so we decided to jump on here to talk a little bit about ourselves and our marriage, because I mean, there's a lot of people that are new to us.
Oh yes.
And just wanted to get you to know us, and maybe we get to know you a little bit more too, with more conversations, whether by questions that you ask here, or by questions that you go on the direct message.
We just give you information. We've been married for 21 years.
Yeah.
Are you married?
Are you married? How long have you been married?
How many years? Drop it like it's hot in the comments. Drop it like it's hot. Tell me how many years you have been married. Or maybe you're not married, you just live together, but you love each other and you're gonna, you're gonna be forever.
Or maybe you're single and want to know what 21-year marriage looks like. Maybe what kind of, like, how we got started. And that can be something that you apply to your soul searching.
Or also, if you are engaged, drop it like it's hot. Drop it in the comments.
Yes.
Like, engage.
Yes. So I guess we could get started with a tip about, like, what was it that you did? Because you weren't planning to get married at a young age. You were planning to get married like at age 35, not at age 22.
I can't tell you my secrets. 18 years. When did you hear? 18 years. When did bacano. Okay. So I didn't plan to get married that young. So when I met him, I was 20, right?
We met in December 98. So yeah, you had just turned 20.
Yeah, they're too young. So my plan was like, I'm not gonna get married. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna have my degrees. I'm gonna have my job, my money. I'm gonna buy my house, my car, be an independent woman. And also, I didn't believe in love. I didn't believe in love because when I was a teenager, the only guys who were coming to me, they were guys with girlfriends. So they say, I love you, Angelica, but I have a girlfriend and I'm going to break up with her and I'm going to be with you. And that was a lie. And I believed them.
Interesting.
So I was like, I don't believe in love. Like, I prefer to be single. Let me be single like Pringle and do my thing. And I'll be happy. And then these guys show up.
Yeah. So like we just said, we met December 98, but I actually do not recall meeting her in December 98.
Why?
Why? Because it was Christmas Eve. I had a couple of drinks, and I was also getting ready the next week to go to Colombia to see my girlfriend. So I was not looking for anything.
Hold on there. So you see how you attract guys who are with
in
a
a
relationship, because that's an energy that you have. So if you start, kind of dating someone who has a relationship, it's like a karma. It's like a essence that you have, that you're gonna attract those guys who are in a relationship.
But wait, at that point, we didn't really get attracted. We just got
No,
introduced.
no, but energy. And I didn't like him. I was like, I don't like this guy. You.
So my cousin had introduced us. We were at his aunt's house, and she was just kind of stopping by to say hello and Merry Christmas. And I was there to pick up my cousin's aunt to bring her to my aunt's house.
And that's too complicated.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but my cousin kind of introduced us. I didn't really care much about her because I thought it was one of his girlfriends.
Because he's a player.
Because he had many girlfriends, and so I was like, oh, it's just another one. His girlfriend. Plus, I wasn't looking for anyone. I had a girlfriend in Colombia who I was gonna go see the next week. So that's why I didn't remember her. But then we met again in April. So about 4 months later, and
he looked different. So
I looked different.
When
so
I saw him, I was like, ooh, he looking cute.
So hopefully, if you're tuning in, stay in for a minute. Stay in for a minute. Don't go anywhere because this is funny.
And you know what? On that, if you share this video, I'm gonna give you like a entry for a raffle that I'm gonna do at the end of the month. Everyone that let's say you share this video, I'll give you 1 ticket.
Okay.
If you go back and share more videos, then I'll give you more tickets.
And TikTok, if you're watching right now and you share it, let us know that you shared it, and we'll write it down. But hold on 1 second. Don't go anywhere. So when people ask us how we met, and this is funny, I tell them that I picked her up in a street corner. Isn't that funny? Because I actually did pick her up in the street corner. So it was the second time that I was meeting her, and we were driving to go get someone to massage my ankle because I had a sprained ankle. And my aunt said, "Hey, hold on, Angelica's in the corner. Stop real quick and ask if she needs a ride." So we stopped in the corner and we asked her, "Hey, do you need a ride?" We told her where we were going. And she said, "Sure, I got nothing going on. Let's go."
Because you were driving by my house. So
sure.
Yeah, I remember. So at that time, New York, 1999, I didn't have a car. I was walking in New York streets, and he picked me up. And when I got into the car, his aunt said, "Oh, let me introduce you to my nephew." And I was like, "No, we already met." And
then I was like, "What? When did this happen?"
He didn't remember me. I was like, "Okay, nice to meet you." And that day we started talking.
Yeah, we started chatting a little bit more. Got a little friendly, and then started going back to New York basically every month after that.
Why? What did you
so I was living in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and she was in Freeport, Long Island, New York. And
so
it was a 10-hour drive.
A long distance relationship.
Yeah. So, but we started talking in April. We didn't really start dating until like June, July timeframe.
No, that was not dating.
We went out. That was a date.
That's a date.
That's a date.
I don't understand.
This is America. That was a date.
I don't know. I don't understand the meaning of dating someone
here.
Yeah.
So dating, it means that you go have lunch, you have dinner, or you talk. That's a date.
Okay, a date. So we were dating.
Even if it's a date as friends, it's still a date.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Good.
Because you schedule a date.
Okay.
That you're meeting.
Okay. So we've been married for 21 years. So let us know in the comments how many years have you been married, or maybe you are engaged. So how many years you've been engaged, or months? Who knows? Because we married quick. So we started dating, and he taught me how to drive, and that was good. And remember, he had a girlfriend in Colombia, in another country, and I forgot about it. And because we were spending time, he was teaching me how to drive, and we spent a lot of hours together. It was one point that we got together closer, and voila, we kissed. And at that moment, I forgot that he had a girlfriend. Forgot about it. And
she was into the whole energy, the whole romantic scene. That she definitely forgot.
He was so cute.
And I guess I forgot I had a girlfriend too.
So when I remember that he had a girlfriend, I was like, okay, we can continue this. I'm so sorry. I respect you and I respect your girlfriend. Like, this is not going to happen again. But he said, no, I don't like you. I want to be with you. It's like that's a long distance relationship. Uh, and she told me, like, the girlfriend told him, like, you can do anything you want in the United States. And she was doing the same thing in Colombia, right? That was the deal.
Yeah, basically.
And I was like, but with me, because when I moved to United States of America, I said, Angelica, you had to respect yourself. Like, you are a beautiful woman, you are smart, and you deserve someone just for you. And if that person doesn't show up in your life, stay single, because it's not worth, like, just open my heart and give everything to a person that person has a heart in another person, in another woman, not me. So I was like, I prefer to be single, period. So when he said, okay, no, she can do anything she wants, and I was like, no, you had to cut this thing. Like, I need some time, but it's a long distance. No. So he told me that it was over, and I believed him. But of course, she was in another country, so that was safe. But still, communication. At that time it was phone calls, not text. Maybe an email. We didn't have Facebook at that time. So, because if you're a woman, that you have the sixth sense there, that something is going on. My birthday is October 22nd. And guess what? I'm so lucky. Her birthday is
October 21st.
Like, for real. For real. For real. So I'm not going to explain the details, but I knew he called her on her birthday, October 21st. And then October 22nd, he was coming to visit me to New York. And he.
No, I was calling you. I was coming to visit you at the end of the
month.
month.
Oh, yeah.
For Halloween.
For Halloween, yes. So he called me and I love you and happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I know what you did. So when he came the next week from North Carolina to New York, he gave me a gift. Like, I used to clean houses in New York with his aunt. So I was working in one area, in one car, and he was working in another area, helping his aunt. So he gave the gift, my gift, to one of the coworkers. And she gave it to me. She said, oh, this is from Rosenberg. Happy birthday. And I was like, okay. So I gave her back the gift. I was like, I don't want anything from this guy. So I told her, could you please do me a favor? Could you please give this gift back to Rosenberg? So she was living in the same house that his aunt was living, and he was staying with his aunt, and he saw the gift. Was like, oh, she forgot to give it to Angelica. So he came to my house with the gift, and at that time I was living with my aunt and my grandma. So I told my mom, not my grandma and my aunt, there's nothing with this guy. Please don't mention his name in this house. It's over. So when he came to my house, knock, 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 my aunt opens the door, and my grandma's like, wait a minute. We had to ask Angelica. Like with that tone, like my grandma was serious. We had to ask Angelica if she wants to see you. And then my aunt, okay, let me ask her. So I was like, okay, that's okay. I can see him. And he was like, I hear this is your birthday gift. I was like, I don't want anything from you. And then he gave me some letters, like when you were 20, you do those letters, you buy those little things. And I said, I don't want anything from you. Here we go, everything, bye. Can we be friends? I was like, no, you're a liar. I don't want to be friends with you. You're disgusting. No, I don't want you in my life. Like, forget about me. Yes or no?
Forget about it.
And then you left.
No,
and then what happened? Tell them what happened.
I came back 2 weeks later, and then we were back together. Yay!
It was only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, it was so easy. but he was calling me. He was saying, "I love you. I'm sorry. You're the woman of my life." I terminated that relationship with the lady in Colombia. And I was like, okay, so you had to do this, if you want me back. And he said, yes. But then he was like, then what about this? I was like, no. Then what? No. Because he said, oh, because we're being friends. Like, I can be friends with her. I was like, no. You cut the relationship. So I don't know.
From the roots.
I don't know, like, how you think, ladies. But for me, he doesn't have to have a friendship with his ex-girlfriend. No way. No way. If they have a son, a daughter together, that's a different story. But just dating and having sex, no, thank you. No, you're not friends anymore. You're not. Okay. So that was my rule. I was like, no way, you can be friends. You cannot talk to each other over the phone, even if she's in another country. And then he was like, but I promised her to help her to come to United States of America. I was like, so you want me to help you to bring her to United States of America, and so she can stay in our house too? Like, really? No. So though was I had my rules, and he said
boundaries
and big ones. I was like, I'm not planning to open my heart again. No, I made a mistake already, and I suffer and I cry. But no more. I like you. You're a good guy, because he's a good guy. That's why we've been married for 21 years. But these are my rules. So if you want me for real, you had to complete everything I say. And we're here.
Boom.
Boom.
So there's one strategy right there. If you want a really good relationship,
write it down.
You want to understand what it is that you want out of your relationship. You gotta set those boundaries. You gotta set those rules. You gotta set the expectations for what it is that you want, and you have to communicate it. You cannot just set it yourself but not communicate it. You have to let that person know whether or not that person is going to be willing to accept that, and vice versa. Men are more flexible. We usually don't set things like that. But if things get out of line, if your partner goes a different way, you have to still set that boundary, set those expectations. And one thing that a lot of people ask me, like, how do you know he was the guy? He was because you keep asking, like, sometimes, like, you keep being asked, like, how did you know that he was a guy? Did you manifest him? Because we talk about a lot about manifestation, things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So because I suffered when I was a teenager, because I didn't love myself, so I let any guys in my life, and then I cry and I suffer. So I was very clear with the person that I wanted in my life. I don't remember if I wrote it down, probably. So I was very specific, like, I want a kind guy. I want a guy just for me, to love me, just me. And someone who can open the door, the car door, the door from a store, from the house, a gentleman, like, with all those descriptions. And I don't know if I asked, like, with cooking skills, but he has cooking skills too. So I was very specific, and I date other guys, but I didn't kiss them. Because I was very specific. So when I was dating someone, I was like, okay, no, peace. I'm not gonna waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very picky. You could say I was very, very picky dating a guy. I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time, because I was not in a hurry to date. I was not in a hurry to get married. So, and I didn't plan to get married. I was like, maybe a relationship, yeah, because I like guys. I like to be loved. I like to be, ¿cómo se dice? Como que cortejada.
I don't know.
Like, someone, to give you flowers and chocolate and invite you to have dinner. I don't like movies, so I don't like movies. So, things like that. But I was like, but I'm not gonna
Essentially,
be
kind of get pampered.
yes, a guy who pampered me.
Yeah.
I'm a queen. But I don't want to be with just someone who's gonna give me those things but make me suffer. I'm like, I had the money for chocolate. I had the money for flowers. So I need someone who's going to love me for real. That I am going to be the queen, not the other girl for the weekends.
Giselle, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
Giselle,
Thank you.
I'm a super
Babies?
happy
No
baby.
babies.
No babies.
No babies,
no
my
babies.
friend.
No babies.
Together for 21 years. Well, together for 22. Married for 21. And no babies.
No, we decided not to have babies. So I was very specific with the type of guy that I wanted.
And that was one of the other things that you mentioned.
Oh, yes. I was
As a matter
very
of fact,
honest.
yeah.
I didn't want to have kids.
As a matter of fact.
So when we started dating, I was like, I don't want kids.
Yeah.
Like if you want to,
and I was okay with that.
If you want to date me, you know the rules. I don't want to be a mama. I don't have the feeling, the desire to be a mom. So that's kind of the rule that you're gonna get married and have kids.
Especially
1, 2, 3, 4,
being from
5.
Colombia,
Being
that
Hispanic,
American country.
I was like, I don't have the desire to have kids. I love kids, but I don't want them on my own. And he said, I'm okay. And when he proposed me, like, let's get married, I told him again, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to marry me? Because I don't want kids. I am 100, 200, 300%. I don't want kids. So I don't want to promise, like, I will change my mind.
Except for that one time that I was in Afghanistan and you said, I want kids. And then like 2 hours later, she calls me back and says, no, scratch that. Don't want any kids.
Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why. In 1 minute, I was like, yeah, maybe we can have a child. And then, no, I don't think so. That was only one time. So, you need to have that clarity when you're looking for that partner.
Yes, you gotta be clear, like I said, expectations. You gotta do your expectation management, communicate. So one of the things that have really worked for us is that communication. Even the hard conversations, we have them.
Mm-hmm.
We try, like, if we have an argument, like I try. She doesn't try that much, but I try to be like, hey, before we go to bed, let's figure this out. Let's talk about it. A lot of times I make her really angry, and she doesn't want to talk at all. And I'm like, all right, I understand that. So maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow.
But you know why? Because when you're very, 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 very angry, you say things that you can regret later. Because right here, you have like a storm in your brain. Your feelings, you're angry, you're upset, you want to do something against that person. But I'm like, let me breathe. I don't want to talk. Leave me alone. Like when I'm calm down, when I put my thoughts together, we can talk.
And that's a very, very clear thing that you can do as well. You don't want to like immediately start talking because then you're gonna be arguing. And guys don't, or girls, don't try to poke your partner to talk. If they say I can't talk right now, just leave me alone for a minute and then leave it like it is. When they cool off, if they cool off that day, talk about it. If not, wait till the morning. But don't let it go days without talking about it. Find a time, place. Hopefully, if you got kids, like away from the kids, so you can be quiet and things like that. And then I still like talk to the kids what's going on. They need to know. But talk it out. Figure out what happened, what you can learn from this, and then
because you can go for a walk. You could talk to your partner and say, I need to go for a walk. I need to breathe. But have that communication. We're gonna resolve this, but I am very angry. So let me calm down, cool down, and we talk. So maybe an hour, maybe 2, but don't let things like not yet.
Yeah, don't let
One
things
day.
accumulate.
Not yet 2 weeks. Not yet a month. No, you had to talk as soon as possible. But when you're down, and then you have to have rules, like not screaming.
All right, like conversation. Like conversation. So, let's say, for instance, you don't want to go a month, 2 months, and then keep adding things on top of it, and then you're gonna be exploding even more. I mean, 6 months from now, it's not like, remember that time? Because most guys or most people won't even remember.
They forget about
it. Because one thing that we've learned is that if you hurt someone, especially the women are really fast about attaching a feeling the way they experience to a memory. So if you made them feel really bad, it's gonna come up pretty quick. Like however she felt or she's feeling at that moment, everything that she felt, every time that she felt that way, all those things are gonna come up. So it's better that you talk about it sooner than later. So.
And then learn the lesson. Is not to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it again," and then you do it again. Like, really? What?
Right.
No. Like every time that he had done something wrong that I don't like it, I'm like, okay, you could say, "I'm sorry, baby, I love you," but for me, that's not enough. I need to see the change, and if I don't see the change, goodbye.
That's right. So it's very important also that as you're communicating, this is kind of like part of the listening and speaking skills, is that you you acknowledge what it is that the person's saying. That way, you know that there's clear conversation going. If the person says something and you kind of say something else, and you're obviously not paying attention. So maybe a technique is to say something that's like, what I understand you're saying is this. That way you make it clear that the conversation is going well.
Someone is asking that if we have been in marriage retreats, counseling, and all that.
Yes. So as a matter of fact, we've been to probably about 6, 7 marriage retreats, and about 4. No, maybe about 6 counseling sessions.
Oh, yes.
When we were going through a storm, we ended up going about 6 times. But
and then a psychologist too.
Right, and a psychologist. But the psychologist was more of an occupational rather than the relationship. It was kind of helping us go through a transition.
Retirement.
But it was also part of that. That transition was impacting our marriage. So yes. The first time we went to a marriage retreat, it was sponsored by the military, and we were kind of just taking a trip because it was going to be a trip to Boone, North Carolina from Fayetteville at a ski resort, and we kind of just like, hey, let's go check this out.
Do you remember how old we were at that time?
This was 2005, I think. I had just made it to the other unit.
So age?
So 26, 28, 7.
Okay.
We have been married for at least 5 years.
Okay. So at that time, when he said, Angelica, there is a marriage retreat and they're going to pay for the hotel, the food, let's go. And I said, no, we don't have problems. Like, we're okay. But he said, honey, but we don't have the money to go out. So let's take advantage of the hotel, at the resort.
Maybe we'll learn something.
Maybe we'll learn something. Like, we had to listen.
We'll meet some people.
They're gonna give us some time to enjoy the resort because that's a couple retreat. So you need time with your partner. And I was like, but we don't have problems. And then I said, okay, let's go. And guess what? We learned so much for our marriage that we didn't know. Like, you are so ignorant. You had to learn something every single day. Like, it's so funny when people say, I have a degree. I graduated already. Like, it doesn't mean that you know.
I don't need to learn anything else.
Like what?
If you're not learning every day, you're dying.
Yes.
That's bottom line. You're dying.
You need to upgrade every single day.
Yeah.
So I was very ignorant with marriage retreats because what you think is like when you go to that is because you have problems. When you go to the psychologist is because you have problems. No, you go there before you have the problems.
Because you go to learn.
So we didn't have any marital issues when we went to this marriage retreat. And what was the book?
So the whole weekend was about the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman.
Have you read that book? The 5 love languages.
Yeah.
Type it in the comments. 5 love languages.
Yeah. So this was an eye opener because it's essentially a personality assessment to understand your partner, and not necessarily to understand just your partner. You could actually apply it to understanding a relationship.
To your friends.
Yeah, to any relationship that you grow. Because based on the research that this gentleman did, it says that we love with 5 languages, one more predominant than the others, but essentially you may be able to love with all 5. But understanding this,
the first one is the most important.
Right, but understanding these love languages allows you to be able to communicate with your partner a whole lot better.
What's the book?
The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Dr. Gary Chapman. It's in Spanish downstairs. But the 5 Love Languages, it's a really good book.
I think. Do you think you can have it like a PDF, a free PDF online?
I don't know, but
it's not expensive.
But if you look up 5 love languages on Angelica's videos, we did a video series about all 5 languages.
Do we have it on YouTube?
I don't think we have it on YouTube. Maybe not yet, but we could add it. But look it up on Facebook. Type Angelica Empowers 5 love languages videos. It was 2019 when we did this series. We were doing a Facebook Live marathon, but we talked about it. We explained a little bit what it is. But you could definitely look it up.
So in that seminar, we learned like what was my priority, my primary language, and I didn't know. And then the one for him, and then because it was like a small group of couples, they would start talking. So it was a couple, 15 years, been married, and the guy was like, "Oh, I thought that your language was this." Oh, so in my mind, I was like, thank God that I'm here. So I'm not making
5 years into our marriage.
Just 5 years into our marriage, not making the mistake for 15 years. Because how many times you think you do things for your husband, for your wife, and it's like, I love you, so I'm doing this for you. But for the other person, it's like, that's okay, but that's not my love language.
So just a quick assessment of what your love language is whatever it is you do with love for someone else. Normally that's the way you like to be loved as well. So if you're a person that likes to pamper people, cook for them, provide, nurture them, provide a service to them, then you're a service type of love. You like providing service, and you also like to receive service for the most part. For most men, touch is a one of the love languages, and not necessarily the sex part, but being caressed, being held, holding people, and holding hands, things like that. And that was that's my primary love language. For her was service. No, it might have changed a little bit. She also, another one is quality time. I think that's probably one.
So let's just stop there. So his love language is touch. And because I was raised in Colombia, and a third world country, they say you had to take care of your husband, like cleaning the house, cooking, like do everything at home. So for me, I was thinking, because I'm the housewife, I'm taking care of everything. I'm showing him that I love him, but he didn't care about the house. Of course, you don't want to live in a pigsty, but I was to the extreme, to OCD, to clean so deep, to have everything organized, because that was my mindset. I had to have the house spotless for my husband to show him that I love him. So when we went to the marriage counseling, no, the marriage retreat, I learned that no, I want to be with you. I want to hug you, like touch me more. But at that time, I was so scared to get pregnant, so I was not touching him too much.
So I'm still recovering from a lower back spasm that I had an episode that I had on Thursday, so I can't be sitting for too long. But Tammy, you say that you never received services, and you feel like that's your love language, your primary love language, because that's something you give a lot. Just like to clarify that. But one thing that we learned with the 5 love languages is that once you understand what it is that your love language is, again, we were talking about those expectations with your relationship, is set that expectation. Let people know. You have to have that open communication, clear, open communication in order to be able to communicate and enjoy each other in the sense of loving each other and caring for each other. Because if your partner doesn't know that you like to be service, then how will they know? Kind of like with the TikTok trend out there. How will they know? How will they know?
Like for me at that time, it was acts of service.
Right.
And he was in the military. He was traveling a lot, so I wanted him to do things around the house. But
when I was at home.
But he didn't like to do things around the house. So for me, that was kind of painful. It was like, it's our house. Why not you're not doing this and that?
Take a shower or cook out real quick.
Okay. And then when he was gone for a month, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, I was responsible for everything, right? To take care of the house. So when he was coming back from that trip, I was like, okay, acts of service. I want you to do these things. And he was like, give me a break. I just came from Afghanistan. And I was like, so when are you going to give me those acts of service? And, when we learn, it's like, okay, I understood that he doesn't want to do those things. So when we start getting more money, so we start hiring someone to do those things. So he's happy and I'm happy. So I understood that his language is like, let's be together. Let's watch a movie together, even though I don't like to watch movies. But sometimes I watch movies because I love him. Or just holding hands, or just hugging each other, in the kitchen for 5 minutes, for 1 minute. That's the love language that he likes to receive. Now through the years, I change. I'm like, if you don't want to paint the house, I don't care. We hire someone, period. You don't want to cut the grass, that's fine. We hire someone. And I understood that he doesn't want to do those things. Like for me, I don't like to cook. So can you imagine he forces me to cook? I don't like to cook.
Again, I'm not sure what I missed, but you have to have that conversation with your partner. You have to let them know.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Because if you're afraid of your partner, if you're afraid to have a conversation with your partner, then who will you really talk to? Maybe find a safe space where you can talk about it. Don't try to talk about something when the other person is busy doing something else that for that person right there is a priority or whatever. Find an environment where you can talk, but let them know, be like, hey, I want to talk about something that's been in my heart, been in my mind. Can we set this space, this time, and then talk about it?
And I see sometimes that if you don't have boundaries with your kids, they take time, with your partner.
They take time away from you, with your partner.
Yes, that is. So you have to set those boundaries. Like, this is a time with my husband, with my wife, and this is my time just with my kids, and daddy with the kids, because they need to spend time together, like just them, and then with mommy, and then as a family. So you had to coordinate those times so you can feel love with your partner.
Yeah.
Because how many times the mom is like, I'm taking care of my kids, I love my kids, like the husband is over there, like, no, I love my kids, because you change your, like, who you love more. And I don't have kids, but I hear from women like, my kids are my priority, I don't care my husband anymore. So they feel like, what's going on here?
But obviously that's not a mindset you want to have, because if your kids are gonna go away. I mean, let's talk bluntly here. Your kids are gonna go away.
Period.
You know, they're gonna get out of the house. They're gonna find their partners. They're gonna have their own relationships. So what do you have left? You have you and your partner. You know, so if you leave your relationship, you know, to the side, to be taking care of your kids, and you don't nourish your relationship with your partner, that's why most of the time you see a lot of divorces after the kid goes to college, you know, or even just before the kid goes to college or whatever. You want to maintain and nourish that relationship.
The statistics show that a lot of divorces happen when the kids go to college. They finish high school and they're like, okay, we're not together anymore because we raised the kids. Fine. Because they forgot that they were partners before the kids. And they forget, to nourish that marriage. So why are you teaching your kids to do the same? You know, take care of the kids and forget about your spouse. No, it's impossible.
So we had a really nice example a couple of weeks ago from this couple who talked about a trip that the gentleman did with his son to go watch the World Cup in 1998 down in Europe, in France.
Beautiful, yes.
And like it was just him and his son
for a month.
For a full month. Like it was a really nice, you know, kindred connection that occurred. I think his son had just graduated from high school and was actually making a big decision to transition to the military academy. So he kind of, I mean, it was a you know, it was
no, don't tell the rest.
Yeah.
Just anyway. They got together. That's the point. They got together, spend that time, and creating those memories.
Yes.
So I know.
And the gentleman said that was like the best memories, the best time that he's ever had, and the best decision that he had ever made to go and spend the time with quality time with his son. So.
And I heard from moms that, let's say you have a daughter who is 5 years old. And then you have a boy who's 13. She says, don't spend time with your two kids together, because what do you do as a mom? The little kid has the priority. Let me finish this and then you talk. So she says, I spend time with my little daughter because she likes to go to the park, because she likes to play with the dolls or these little things. And then I have another day with my son who is 13, and we do things that he likes. Because how many times you tell your bigger kids, no, we had to do what the little one wants? That's not fair. So you had to have that relationship with the little ones and with the big ones. What do you want to say?
I was just going to say, Tammy, thank you for joining us tonight. You have a good night as well. I'm glad you took some value out of our conversation here tonight. And anyone, if you're taking value, please share this. Share. We've been married for 21 years, and we're just kind of talking about a couple of the things that have worked for us. And just to summarize it real quick, we talked about open communication. That's very key to our marriage. Respect and setting expectations, setting boundaries, and also connecting. You know, finding time to connect.
Like we had been in 6-7 marriage retreats, and I remember one of them. They say your marriage is like an empire, like a castle, like something huge you're building with your partner. Because when you get married, you say we're gonna live forever and ever and ever and ever. So you had to protect that castle. And they say when you have a castle, you're going to have a fence around your castle to protect your marriage, to protect your castle from people from the outside.
From the outside.
So do you have that fence? Because I see couples that the fence is
There's
gone.
no fence.
There's no fence. They never had a fence.
It's actually there's no gates either to the castle. It's just an open invitation to everything.
I was like, what? So picture yourself like, I love my partner, and for real, when I say yes, I love you, let's get married, is because we're building something huge forever. So that's why I was very picky when I was dating someone. I was like, I don't think I want to live with you my entire life. So why start a relationship? No, you're not my type. You don't meet my requirements. So I'm not going to waste my time. So I was planning to stay single forever. I was like, I have so many requirements. I don't think someone is going to show up with those requirements. He showed up with a lot of requirements, but not the physical part. I want a tall guy.
Look, I'm tall.
Sure. Oh, yes, you're very tall. That the external characteristics were secondary; they were not important. But he had the rest. So I was like, okay, you have my things that I want from a partner, and I want to date you, and I want to date you in a serious relationship. Like, where are we going? I said, I want, if we start this, I want to get married. And he said, yes, I want something serious too. And then we date for how long? And then we know that we wanted to be together forever.
Yeah, we were dating for probably about serious dating, probably for about 3-4 months. And we were like, we want to be together, let's be together. And I proposed probably around month 7 or so. And then we got married.
So we dated for a year, and then we got married, and then we'll be married for 21.
Yes.
And of course, life is not easy, but that's why we had to go to those seminars, to the marriage retreats, and a counselor to build that relationship like stronger. Even though you don't have any problems, go and see someone, an expert in relationships. Don't ask your mom, your dad, your best friend. No, because they have feelings towards you,
yes,
towards your husband, your partner. So no. Professional help.
Professionales. Yeah, and be careful where you get advice from. You might be wondering the same thing, like, well, who are these guys? Should I trust what they're saying? I mean, you can take it as you want. We've been married for 21 years, and we've had a pretty good relationship. It hasn't been like all nice the whole time, but for the most part. But will you be taking a relationship with someone that's been divorced 6 times and still doesn't have a marriage? I don't know. It's up to you. I would just say, like she said, find a professional, someone that is not related to you at all, doesn't have any heart for you. That way, they're neutral, and like they won't. Hopefully, someone that doesn't know one of you.
No.
Yeah, hopefully it's not someone. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Professional.
Someone that doesn't know either of you. So.
The last marriage retreat that we went, he's an expert. Like I don't know, maybe he was 60 years old. And he said, that's his job, right? Like when you do
patterns.
The pattern. Like, I sell ketones. So I know the pattern that people drinking the ketones or eating the things. I know what happens if you don't drink the ketones. I know what happens if you drink the ketones too fast.
Or if you eat sugar, or if you don't eat enough fats.
Because that's my job. So I know the pattern. I know what happens. So he is a marriage counselor. So he knows the pattern because he's a professional there. And he see the patterns. So he said, when you're married, you're going to have
times.
Good times, and then woo, the turbulence is here. And what happens? We usually say, oh, our marriage is destroyed. I can't handle this. Voila, divorced.
Mm-hmm. He said there's actually a study that shows that at certain points of your marriage, like year 7, then year 14, then year like 17, and things like that. And it was funny too that he used to say, he said that 50 years ago marriages did not last more than 15 years or 20 years. Well, that was also because life expectancy wasn't that much, because the husband used to do crazy stuff for work, like working in the fields, and they'll die. Usually it was men will die faster. But now there's more studies that shows that there's turbulent times at different steps of your marriage.
Okay, so when you have a turbulence in your marriage, look for professional help. So they're gonna give you the tools to pass that storm, and then everything is gonna go to normal. And then you're gonna have another storm. So what happens when you get pregnant and maybe you're not prepared, you're not ready? You're gonna have a storm right there. Or maybe even if you plan the baby, it's a big change.
Yeah, there's things going on in your body. There's things going on outside of you in your environment.
You had to change so many things at home. Maybe the car. Maybe you live in one bedroom apartment. It's like, wow, we have a baby coming in. What do we do? So there's so many things that you and your partner have to deal with. And then the hormones come on. And then when the baby comes, you can't sleep, and maybe your partner doesn't want to help you, or maybe your partner is working too much because you can't work and you had to handle the baby all day long. So then you're going to have some little fights, right? And then when the baby goes to school, that's a big change. Oh, I don't want my son going to that school. And then when they go to, when they're teenagers, then there's more things going on in the family. And maybe someone in your family is sick, like your mom, your dad. So that's turbulence coming to your marriage, because maybe you are taking care of your mom, so you're not spending too much time with your husband. So you had to talk about it, say, honey, my mom needs me. You had to find kind of the balance to say, I'm going to take care of my mom, but I still love you, and we're going to have time together to nourish our marriage.
And then maybe you said, set goals, like let's say the family member can be okay after 6 months, right? And so you set that goals that, hey, this is only going to be for 6 months. That way you set that expectation again. That way the person knows, like, okay, I'm just gonna have to deal with this for this amount of time. We're gonna find a solution for this or that, or set the expectation, like, I'm taking care of my parents from now on until they pass. We'll set them up on a mother-in-law suite, or we'll set another house in the back, or whatever. But set that expectation, have a clear understanding of what it is that's going on. That way, and get that feedback. Like, are you okay with this? Do you agree? Find out what the other person says.
And I don't want to pass 1 hour.
No, we got about 5 more minutes.
Something else that he said is like, if you had to move to another city, another state, like we were in the military. So he was telling me, we're moving from North Carolina to Florida. So I had to start over. Like, he had a job and he knew people from his job. So that wasn't a big deal for him. But for me, I had to start over. So that's something going on in our marriage, because I got depressed.
Yes. So every transition that goes out, every life transition, which can be anything really, something that basically when you stop doing what you've been doing, you transition to something else, that's going to have an impact to your relationship. So you need to understand, be aware, set that expectation, talk about it, have clear communication.
And that's not something like, oh, we're going to end our marriage. No. Right. You have to find a solution and find that
common ground,
that professional help to say, okay, we're dealing with this, and we don't know why, because you've been married, and this transition, moving to another state, or maybe just moving jobs in the same town.
Yeah,
you're still in the same house, still in the same town, but there's a new job.
Yeah, there's a new job. You got to drive longer, or you have to work longer hours. Or now you're working night shift instead of day shift. So
That's a change.
all of those
That's
are
a
huge changes.
Aha. So don't end your marriage because you had the turbulence. You're gonna have a turbulence.
Period. No matter what.
No matter what. So now we know. So 21 years, like I'm building this marriage. Like I'm not gonna let him destroy my empire. I'm like, no, we're gonna go to a marriage counselor. But of course, if something happens that is huge,
Yeah,
and the castle is gone.
If your partner is doing some domestic violence, if he's hitting you, if he's verbally abusing you, mentally, whatever, and then you have to decide if that's not the partner you want. Don't try to fight and amend a relationship just because maybe you were married through the church or just because that's the way you've always done it. Your whole family has done it. You never got divorced. No, I mean, if there's things that cannot be fixed, then they must end. But again, find that professional help. If that partner is not willing to go look for that help, you still go look for that help because you need someone to talk to.
Yes, is needed and it's very helpful. So I think we end with this.
Yes.
So you guys are amazing. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for letting us be part of your Saturday night, for letting us be part of your journey. Feel free to share everything you find on my social media. And remember, when you share this video or any of my videos or posts that I have on Facebook, you get one entry for a raffle. And the last day is January 31st. So February 1st, I will pick a name.
Yes.
So make sure you follow me at YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, Angelica Empowers, because sometimes the other platforms get blocked. So you can go to YouTube and be, in touch with me. Any questions, feel free, send me a message. And for the people who, had questions, amazing. Thank you for your participation.
And if you don't know how to message her or message us, go to the link in the bio. There's a section there that says message me, and you'll be able to get to us.
Yes. So thank you so much. This is Angelica Ortiz, Angelica Empowers, and
Rosenberg. Love you guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye.